divas, welcome back to my channel. As you can see here, I've got a whole bunch of Belle dolls, but more importantly, I've got the new Enchanted Stories Disney Princess Belle to review for y'all today. And I'm really glad I got her because, as you can see, she is one of the princesses that is not being sold in that like mock action figure like type of getup. She's got a real fabric gown, and she's not a glorified action figure, and at least she looks more regal and royal and princess-like with this release. I know that these ones in particular are Walmart exclusives, but yeah, before I move on to the back of the box, we just have the window into everything that she comes with, which is literally just the doll itself, as well as this little purple background with like a castle. It has roses, I see Lumiere in the background, and you can also see these little molded stars on the cellophane plastic, as well as the very gorgeous and pretty art of Miss Belle over here, and the Enchanted Stories logo, as well as the Disney Princess logo. And here we have the rest of that other little boring information on the bottom. And moving on to the side, it just says Belle in this very pretty cursive, and they're just advertising the rest of the, I guess, fashion packs that you could get for her. And here we have the back of that box, and we just have the little text that says Create Belle's World in multiple languages, as well as the stock photo of Miss Belle and this little like cart or whatever that you could buy separately, as well as the kind of shitty like peasant gown that they got going on for like a fashion pack. I literally saw this in person, and all of this detail is like printed on, and like even the sleeves aren't as good as like they would have made the gown back in the 90s, you know what I mean? But yeah, as you can see, it's just got this little pink and purple like coloring, and the graphic design, I will say, is very nice. But yeah, I can't wait to get this diva out of the box because I've been dying to get her for a while, and I'm really happy to just have this one now so that I can compare and contrast, because we have my oldest Belle over here from 2002, and then like one from the like late 2000s and whatnot, and now we have the current modern one that doesn't look like a glorified action figure. So yeah, the next clip, this diva is just going to be out of the box. We got our diva out of the box finally, and I will say that the first impressions are honestly nice enough. I did notice immediately upon getting her out of the box that her hair might be like a nylon or like a polypropylene, and if it is nylon, it's like definitely a low grade, but that's a little bit disappointing. But I mean, I'll take a low-grade nylon over like, you know, a glue-soaked head that like will literally actively leak in like a decade or whatever. Obviously this diva over here is perfect, and there are no notes on her hair. But yeah, she's got that nice, well, not nice, but she's got that kind of low-grade nylon hair, but it's just in this very nice kind of like maroon brown color. I will say that she does have a lot of it, and it is pretty long, as well as like put up into this very intricate style and whatnot. So she definitely does have a lot of it, at least. Although I would not recommend dry brushing that literally at all. But as you can see here, she's just got her little center part with her little widow's peak, as well as that like nice little top knot bun or whatever that she has, and that other little, you know, front section of hair pulled back. It's very, very pretty, very elegant, a nice like formal updo, I will say. And then moving on to her only accessories, she just has these gold little stud earrings, as well as this little sparkly tiara that's yellow and got glitter in it and whatnot. And then we move on to this kind of Party City looking gown, and I will say that it's like less cheap looking than like Cinderella's gown or like Ariel's gown, but it's still definitely looking like a costume from like, you know, a really low budget Halloween store rather than like cosplays or whatever the hell. But like, you know, we'll take what we can get, honestly. I really do like that it at least is like fully fabric, and that, you know, the bodice is at least like well constructed and it's not terrible. I will say that this fabric definitely feels worse than like the cheapest napkin you could like ever get at like a restaurant or whatever the hell, but at least it's shiny and sparkly, so I will give it that. And we've got these two poofs like of fabric right over here. Moving right onto her face, I will say that she has a very screen accurate looking face. I think that this one is also just as screen accurate, but it still looks a little bit like more human proportion, you know what I mean? But yeah, we just got her little thin arched eyebrows, and we just have her kind of like hazel green eyes, along with this like kind of neutral brown like eyeshadow, and she's got on pink blush as well as this kind of like two-tone pink lipstick. And if y'all can't notice already, she does have a pixelated face, unfortunately, but I'm just gonna have to get over that until Mattel switches the face paint on these at least, or until I can find a variation with like better face paint. But there is her face. And I forgot to mention before, but she has this like little sheer fabric as well as this like rose like right at the top of her bodice of the dress. And moving on to the little shoes that she comes with very quickly. They're nothing special, but they're just these like gold shoes with like all these little like ornate looking details on them. Very cutesy, very pretty. And we have a little rose and like vine pattern on her dress. And it is very glittery and shiny, as is customary for the Disney Princess line, but I will say that this is a really cute little doll and like a really neat little addition to my collection, especially to my Belle collection, because like I said, I've been very obsessed with this character recently. But yeah, I do think that overall this doll is very, very pretty. I will say though, if you are trying to get like a better doll, the much better doll and like the more superior version is the Disney Store doll, in my opinion. Like I've already said before, I think that those dolls are like the definitive Disney dolls at the moment, the ones with like the highest quality like plain line or whatever. But yeah, I will be getting that doll out later just to like compare and contrast a little bit. But yeah, as you can see here, these three little divas are the same character, but they look so very different, I guess from like year to year. I would like to get more Belles from like even like earlier than this 2002 diva, and like more from like the mid 2000s and whatnot, but overall I'm really happy I got this diva. She's very, very pretty and a really neat little addition to my princess collection. Now, as you can see here, we've got the classic Disney Store Belle right over here. This is the one I think that is currently being sold. I believe I got her last year and she wasn't more than like $19 I think on Amazon, but as you can see here, I think that these dolls are, you know, the definitive versions of these, you know, characters in doll form right now, just because they have the most screen accurate faces, the most screen accurate clothes, in my opinion. Like they even went out of their way to give Belle gloves at least. And as you can see with all of these other releases, they literally refuse to give her gloves with like, you know, her standard, I guess, fashion doll form, even though they're literally like a part of her character design anyways. But as you can see, we've got her snatched waist and we have this dress right over here. All of them, like I said, love to use this like sparkly like shimmer shine gimmick. I'm not really surprised because it's been working for them for like a long time, you know what I mean? But we have this gorgeous little face, looking like it was literally painted by Mr. Disney himself. And we have this really pretty looking frou-frou dress. I just love it. But yeah, that's really the little compare and contrast, I'd say. It's funny, like I said, these are literally all the like same characters, but they just look so different from company to like company, or like, I guess, year to year or whatever. And I do believe that Miss Belle over here has like a high grade polypropylene hair type. So I guess it is better that this one has better feeling hair than this one. But yeah, that's really all there is to this little compare and contrast. I do really still like absolutely adore this face sculpt and just like the way that this Belle looks in general, but I do really want Mattel to like just step it up in terms of like quality, design, you know, hair fiber, you know, all that, because they can do some really, really pretty looking Belle dolls. You know what I mean? And not that this one isn't pretty, but I would love to see more of the quality come back, honestly. But yeah, I hope y'all liked that little review, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, divas. Stay safe.